Welcome into the Pick a Side podcast, College Week 6, NFL Week 5 recap edition. Monday Night Football still to come tonight. Jags, Chiefs. We both like the Jags. We both like the under. I'm going to just start this very simply. I don't know fucking anything about college football. Nothing. And imagine what we would have had to say on the pod to be right about some of these things last week. Like Cincinnati, kick your feet up. We nailed it.
Yeah.
The Michigan-Wisconsin under, kick your feet up. We nailed it. But like the Kentucky game, it just didn't go our way.
You lose that by a half point.
Louisville
is.
laying 6.5, it didn't go our way.
Mm-hmm.
Vandy, it didn't go my way, didn't go your way. Vandy lost, overlost.
Yep.
Pavia didn't show up. But imagine some of the other stuff. I should have listened to you on Nebraska, really. Because another backdoor cover by Michigan State. It'd be nice if you would win a fucking game, you bums, instead of just killing me with the backdoor covers. Penn State lost outright to UCLA. I'm sorry. We can take our bullet for laying 24.5 with the Nittany Lions. But anybody who tells you that they were like, yeah, Penn State's just going to go fucking lose. No. Texas lost outright to Florida.
Yeah. I mean, it was a weird week in the NFL. It was a weird week in college, too. There was... I can't make anything of what college football is right now. Because,
I can't either.
And it's kind of what we talked about on Saturday, too, during Chicago's College Tailgate, which, by the way, thank you to everyone who came out and showed up at Will's Northwoods Inn. It was a great crowd.
It was a great event.
On Saturday. But we were talking a little bit about it there. This top 10 is weird. And it's like, sure, there's certain characters that are in their designated seats, but some of it's just really odd. And there's shakeup again inside the top 10. I mean, you look at everything that's gone down this season. There's a case that, 4 or 5 teams could be the number one team in the country right now?
Yep. I think there's a case for Ohio State. I think there's a case for Miami. I think there's a case for Oregon. Those are the 3 receiving votes in the AP at least. If Mateer becomes healthy, I think you could make a case for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Ole Miss with Trinidad Chambliss, you just keep cooking. I think you could make a case there. Texas Tech doing exactly what was expected. I'm not sitting here saying you can make a case they're the number one team in the country, but they are the most expensive team in the country.
Yeah.
They are 5-0. Like, I think you can start to have that conversation. It's just, I can't make heads or tails of this. And then you see things coming up this week, dude. This only gets more difficult. Oklahoma, number 6, neutral site game, Texas, Red River rivalry. Texas blows. They just lost to Florida.
Yeah.
Texas is giving 2.5 points. Texas is favored.
Yeah.
This is all us, automatic. You bet Texas, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How the fuck do you put American dollars on the Texas Longhorns?
Can it be something, though, in between where it's like Florida's roster is good. They've had quarterback issues all season long, and that's why their record is what it is. But the other 21 guys on the field are all pretty damn good. It's so tough to make anything of what this season's been.
I cannot believe that they let James Franklin get on the airplane.
Yeah.
How is James Franklin the head coach at Penn State today? How?
That is, and like he's had plenty of games where it's been a letdown or you haven't won the big one in all of these different spots.
No, but this
is an all-time new level of disappointment.
This is
new level of disappointment as a Penn State fan.
There will not be a more embarrassing loss for any team all year. Period. Point blank. End of story.
I mean, you're talking about probably
They lost to the worst team in America.
Like, that is one of the biggest upsets we will see all season long. And we're only in, that was week, 6?
Tyler, they lost to the worst team in America. They lost.
And a team that we thought had quit. They showed no quit. Anytime you put up 42 points, there's a little extra juice in there too.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I looked at the score and I saw at halftime 27-7. 27-7 to UCLA. And Drew Aller is supposed to be the number 1 pick in the draft.
And now you got James Franklin tweeting about Northwestern this week.
Dude.
Northwestern.
Dude,
Get the fuck out of here, man.
if you're a Penn State alum, a Penn State booster, if you have any pull with the Penn State program at all, like this is the sports equivalent of call your senator. Get James Franklin the fuck out of town. I know, like, media does this thing where we call for people's jobs, and I'm not even a Penn State fan, but it is absolutely stunning to me that you lose to Oregon, whatever. It's what you've always done. You're 4-21 against top 10 teams. You can't beat the good teams in your conference. You're terrible against Michigan. You're terrible against Ohio State. You're terrible against Notre Dame. You're terrible against anybody with a number next to them. Whatever. You've lost that game forever. You go on the road the week after as a 24.5-point favorite, and you don't just not cover. You lose to the worst power team in America. You're done.
Right. And it's funny because last year
he should have been Herm Edwards in the end zone.
I thought James Franklin had a good year last year. All things considered, like, I thought he had a good year last year. He got to the Final Four. He hung tough with Penn State in that game. Like, you had a good year last year. And then to just piss it all away this year, this could be, especially now that you've got 2 losses inside the conference, your ticket to Indianapolis, you can crumple that thing up and throw it in the garbage can. Your ticket to the playoff,
you can throw it away.
Probably, in all likelihood, gone.
They're not ranked.
Like, it's what is the path now for Penn State moving forward? Like, this is a game that gets you fired. And if you have one more of these things, then you're not making it to the end of the season.
They were preseason number 2 in America. Now they're unranked.
Same, and Texas
it's week
in that
6.
same boat. Texas was preseason 3, and they're unranked.
And Texas, I mean, it's a different conversation with Texas because with Penn State, it's just this is the coach you have, and he's been an underachiever chronically, and now he's losing games that typically he wins in blowout fashion. Now he's got the really embarrassing one. You just hang it on Franklin and say this is what it'll always be. It's time to cut bait. Texas is a different story. I don't blame Sark for this. Part of me wants to blame media people, but I don't know if that's fair. Part of me wants to blame the recruiting machine. I don't know if that's fair. I don't know at what point you just blame Arch Manning, but that also feels a little strong-armed because we are talking about a 21-year-old kid who's facing a mountain of pressure none of us could ever imagine. But Arch Manning, he's bad. Just straight up bad. What do you do if you're Texas?
Well, the way like, if you're looking at these two programs, I think I'm more pissed off if I'm a Texas fan today than if I'm a Penn State, because Penn State is just kind of like, well, shit, like we touched the stove again. But with Texas, you were supposed to have a great coaching staff going into this year, high expectations. You entered the season ranked 3rd in the country, and you had a quarterback who, all right, maybe he's not the best, and maybe he shouldn't have been the Heisman favorite, but you still saw plenty of, even if you took the last name off the back of who Arch Manning is, he still was, recruiting-wise, one of the best quarterbacks. Even if he had a fantastic high school career. He's shown some things at the collegiate level. At some point, there needs to be something said to, you brought in a 5-star quarterback who stayed loyal to the program through all of this stuff, through not playing through his first couple of years.
Yep.
And this is what he is.
Yeah.
How many times do we see guys who sit, Dante Moore, perfect example, right? Sat out for a year behind Dylan Gabriel at Oregon. And look what he is now. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country and could win the Heisman this year. Why couldn't that be Arch Manning too? Why could, like, pedigree-wise, he has it. Everything should be there for Arch Manning to be a great quarterback. I'm not saying he has to go out and win the Heisman, but to not look like dog shit at a minimum, like, let's step over a sidewalk crack here.
I mean, maybe it really is just they failed to develop him, and he can't meet the mountain of pressure that faces him in Austin.
Did they just think there would be too much innate God-given ability?
Maybe, and I have to. He's going to transfer. Like, I think he has to. He can't return to Texas. The Boo Birds are going to be out. This is an environment that's going to like willingly shepherd you along into finally developing into something. He's going to be playing God knows where, but he's going to have to transfer to a smaller tier school. Like, it's just, this is disaster.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing too. My reaction on college football is on the whole, you'll be lucky if you get me to bet 3 games this weekend, because I don't have any fucking idea. USF now ranked 4-1. Their only loss to Miami. I mean, they've been ranked, but 24 in the country. You're giving 1 point to North Texas.
Yeah, it may just be a spot week. Like find our Cincinnatis from a week ago.
Dude, Texas favored against Oklahoma. I mean, Alabama goes and boat races Vanderbilt. They lost to Florida State. Florida State can't cover a 4.5-point spread against Miami at home. Carson Beck's slinging the ball around the yard on them. You know what it reminds me of, honestly? And this was my biggest fear with college football as they transitioned into the portal and into the NIL. It's the NFL. This has become a week-to-week sport where on any God-given Saturday, I feel like any team can lose. And I have no idea how to pick these games. I'm being honest with the people who listen to this show, who've been loyal listeners to us, who, for whatever reason, enjoy the content that we put out. I can't tell you that I have my finger on the pulse of this sport at all. I have no clue how to pick these games. Illinois is given 15.5 to Ohio State.
Yeah. Who's to say they can't go out and outright win that game?
Like Bama's flipping 3 to Mizzou.
Yeah.
This is the NFL. What am I supposed to? Oregon laying 8.5 at home against Indiana. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I want it. This is a good weekend of games. I want to be into it. We're going to do the work. I'm going to keep trusting the process as much as possible. But you'll be lucky if you get 3 games out. I mean, Michigan getting 2.5 from USC. USC's unranked. Yeah. I just watched USC go on the road and lose to Illinois. What am I supposed to do with USC as a favorite over Michigan?
I actually really like USC in that game if we're going to do a little look ahead here.
But you get my point. Like, again, another one stands out. Georgia flipping 3.5 to Auburn on the road.
Yeah. And listen, they're not all going to win. Like, there were some weird lines last week, Miami being one of them against Florida State, and Miami went out and took care of business. But if you just play the numbers game and you keep taking 2 out of 3, you're going to end up in a good spot.
Maybe this is where we really got to dig in on the degenerate stuff and play the smaller schools that have less money and are less, because the rest of this, I mean, the Big Ten, the SEC, you're looking at the NFL. It's insanity.
I think the Total Czar is going to dust off the totals this week.
I'd love that.
Try to find a few.
And honestly, like, as much as I say I feel the way about college the way I feel about the NFL, it's funny I feel that way because I'm doing really well in the NFL. Yeah. Another very good week for me in the National Football League, where the New York Football Jets let me down. That's the last time I'm going to touch them. I'm out.
They're awful.
They're really bad. Like, completely unbettable dreck bad. But Denver came through against Philly.
Good spot by you.
We got to talk about that game in a minute. Houston came through in spades against Baltimore. Yeah. More on that in a minute. Saints quad bomb, bang.
And for the Survivor players, I want to see, please screenshot your Survivor pools if you ended up taking the Saints and send them to us, because I hope someone out there took the Saints.
If you had the balls to do it, you're going to get rewarded. You held on to all the good teams. I didn't have the balls to do it. I took Detroit. But thank fucking Christ I didn't take Arizona.
Yeah.
If you're a Survivor player and you took Arizona, you should get a free reentry. Amari DiMercato, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, I would be the worst coach ever. Tyler, I'd cut him.
That's like, I mean, Kyler Murray said it best. That's how to lose a football game 101.
Yeah.
That is one of the worst collapses I think I've ever seen in a football game.
And you're up 21-6 against a winless opponent that can't get up off the mat. You are running in a touchdown to put you up 28-6. It's this kid's moment. He's waited out multiple running backs suffering injuries to even get into a game. You get a handoff and blow through the offensive line. You're running free to the end zone. Not only do you slow down at the 20-yard line, you then drop the football before crossing the goal line. It's unfathomable.
It makes no sense. Like, if I'm a coach at any level, and you really only see this stuff, I feel like, in the pros, I'm telling you, if you're scoring a touchdown, you put the ball on the end line, on like the white paint in the back of the end zone. That, like, you get into the end zone and you're required to put the ball on the paint in the back of the end zone. Like, that should be the requirement for these teams. It's the only way to avoid fuck-ups like this.
Here's an idea. Hand it to the official.
That
and
works
if you
too.
don't hand the ball to the official, you're cut. Period.
That works too.
Because I see it all the time, and Peyton Manning does a great job on the Manning cast. Anytime a player gets a first down and leaves the ball on the field, all you are doing is taking time off the clock while the official has to get it and set it.
Yep.
If you just coach your team that after every play you hand the ball to the official, this will never be an issue. But I can't figure it out. I can't figure out what he was thinking. I can't figure out what A.D. Mitchell was doing a week ago.
At least A.D. Mitchell, like, he didn't try to drop the ball early. He just, like, that's a physical error.
Yeah.
Physical error, frustrating, but they happen. This is mental. This is coachable and mental and inexcusable.
It was unbelievable. All right.
You get the wacky
Oh, God, the touchdown.
Fumble.
I mean, my God. Cam Ward just throws the worst pass you've ever seen. It's picked off. Somehow ground causes a fumble on the interception. Ball gets kicked around. I thought I was watching AI. That's like if you ask ChatGPT to show a video of American football, that's the garbage it would come up with.
Yeah.
Ball's getting kicked around. Tennessee falls on it. Oh, we got a game. I'm like, what the hell is happening?
AI slop loss.
It was
for the Arizona Cardinals.
It was unreal. But as somebody who took Detroit and Survivor, I'm like, phew, survive in advance.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Take that one.
All right, we got to talk about Philly. If Philly raced out to a lead 17-3, you felt like, okay, they're going to 5-0. Denver's going down to 2-3. All of a sudden, what the hell was the second half? What did I watch in the second half? You run the ball one time. When
you have supposedly the best running back in all of football.
Do you know what it is? Trying to keep A.J. Brown happy is going to kill this team.
No, and you've brought it up before. Like we see the Jalen Hurts stat lines where it's like 14 for 18, and those are games where the Eagles are usually pretty good.
Yep.
When you're asking Jalen Hurts to throw the ball almost 40 times, you're not going to win football games that way with this team, with this roster construction. 6
carries for Saquon Barkley. What is that game plan?
Yeah.
You went into it and you said, we got a lead. Now we're going to force feed A.J. Brown so that we can make him happy, and it cost you a victory. And it's a victory you might need because watch out, dude. The Lions, they're back. I know they gave it up a little bit to Jamar Chase late, and that game looks closer than it really was.
Yeah.
And I had to sweat -10 a little bit. But really, it was never in doubt.
Right.
The safety to seal it. The Eagles losing that one, it might come back to haunt them if they don't have home field throughout the NFC.
And it may just feel like they're kind of speed running the season that they had from the last time they appeared in a Super Bowl, where they went to the Super Bowl, had this great season. You lose some coordinators, and you come out to a hot start. You're looking like one of the best teams in football. And then all of a sudden, what were they, like 7 or 8-1? And then you just kept losing and losing and losing down the stretch. Like, I'm not saying this team's going to end up being 4-13 bad. They'll get in the playoffs. They'll probably still win the division. And it's just one game. And let's call it what it is, too. Denver's got a hell of a defense on the other side as well.
Of course they do.
Like, I mean, people are talking about Nick Bonito as potential Defensive Player of the Year. You have the reigning Defensive Player of the Year with Pat Surtain.
Yep.
Like, it's something to watch in Philly. You are replacing an offensive coordinator from a year ago, but I'm not counting them out yet. But this is a loss that definitely stings, and I'm sure there's some PTSD to what happened from returning the season after a Super Bowl appearance from a couple years ago.
And it's how quickly the tides changed on Nick Sirianni, because Nick Sirianni in Philly was a god. And now it's the same conversations it's always been. What are you doing with that game plan in the second half?
Yeah.
Keeping A.J. Brown cannot be so important that it derails what you want to do as an offense.
Like, if that's the case, trade him. Trade him.
And I think they will.
Yeah.
If they do it,
it'll be in season, but
no, I'm not saying at the deadline. But at the end of this is A.J. Brown's last year in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Because they can't keep doing this.
Yeah. And Devontae Smith's a hell of a replacement to stick him in there. And then you go out there and you draft one in the first round and hope they turn into one of these wonderful rookie receivers like what we're seeing in Tampa.
Houston, Baltimore. Houston, kick your feet up. I mean, 44-10.
Yeah.
And the fun fact on Baltimore now is that in NFL history, only one team has allowed more points against through 5 weeks of a season in the history of the league. This defense is not just bad. It's maybe the worst. It is the worst in football, and it might be one of the worst we've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's
the way
atrocious. And maybe it's look, we're 5 weeks in now. Like, this isn't the Saints a year ago, where you go, wow, through 2 weeks, they have the most productive offense in NFL history.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just a wagon, and then it turns out they're not that good. You're 5 weeks in, and you're giving up 40 a game.
Yeah.
You are what we see. You're terrible.
Yeah.
Houston's not even that good. Houston's offensive line's awful. They traded their left tackle this week, and they put up 44 on Baltimore. Baltimore might just be an automatic fade all year, laying 7 or getting 7.5 from the Rams.
And listen, Lamar Jackson not playing in this game wasn't the difference.
No.
Houston was always winning this game.
And I tell you, if I'm the Ravens, hey, Lamar, don't rush back because there ain't anything here to save. We're dead. 1-4. It has been a bizarre year in the NFL. I'm surprised I'm doing as well as I'm doing with how wacky it has been, where if you had on your bingo card that the Chiefs would be going into this week 2-2 and the Ravens would be 1-4 and Joe Burrow would be dead and the Bengals would be spiraling, like, congratulations to you. You drilled it.
And Daniel Jones might win MVP of the league.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I mean, is it an overreaction to say, like, look, New England obviously beat them last night, and New England and Drake May, they might be playing themselves really into the conversation. But is it going too far to say that the biggest threat to the Bills in the AFC is the Colts?
Doesn't it feel like, though, this is just going to be the Vikings of last year where, all right, once they get into the playoffs, how much noise can they really make? Like, at a certain point, you do need a quarterback that can give you a legitimate ceiling. And while this is nice in the regular season, what does it look like in the playoffs? Now, Daniel Jones has won a playoff game before. On the road, too, might I add. But if you're asking me, like, the question of who's more worthy of their award, Shane Steichen for Coach of the Year or Daniel Jones for MVP, I'm going with Steichen. Because it took a lot to, A, make the quarterback decision, A, bring in Daniel Jones.
Sure.
B, make the decision to start Daniel Jones, and then C, get the results out of Daniel Jones. To me, that is a lot more on coaching than the player itself. And that's not to take away any of the credit to what the player's done. You have to go out and execute. And Daniel Jones has done it at an extremely high level. But I think the stones that it takes for a coach to make some of these decisions, I'm giving a lot of credit there.
No, I think he deserves it. And look, we entered the year, he was among the favorites to be the first coach fired. It felt like this was drawing to a close on Shane Steichen. It's year 3. It hadn't gone well in the first 2 years. But now you're kind of seeing the payoff of the guy who was the brain in Philadelphia a couple years ago with rejuvenating their offense, building the scheme that they run now, what they're able to do with Jonathan Taylor. They're running the ball incredibly well.
Jonathan Taylor could win Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, Puka's in the league, so it's going to make it tough, but Jonathan Taylor has been the best running back in football.
3 touchdowns again yesterday. I mean, we're going to get to a point where you're going to have to start talking about him as a potential MVP. And if you told me the AFC standings would look the way that they look right now through 5 weeks, I'd be stunned.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, as of right now, are out of the playoffs. You've got the Colts as the 1 seed. Buffalo's the 2. That's the only thing that makes sense. The rest of this, Pittsburgh's the 3. The Chargers are the 4 by basically default as their season starts to fall apart. Jacksonville is the 5. Denver's the 6. New England is the 7. Hello, Drake May. Like, I can't believe what I'm seeing in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you another thing, too, on the New England side of things, because that game last night, it may not have been aesthetically pleasing, but Drake May, holy mercy.
Yeah.
That is the best performance we've seen out of Drake May since he's been in the league. And I will go so far as to say that is the best passing performance any of the 6 rookie quarterbacks from last year have ever put out. That was fucking outstanding in Buffalo. He was perfect. The ball he threw down the field on the crossing route to Stephon Diggs, rolling out to his right and uncorking a dime, tight spiral, off-platform throw, he was brilliant.
I will say, like, I wouldn't call it the best performance we've seen from any of the quarterbacks from that class because there were still some really bad moments from Drake May. He had at least one, maybe he had 2 of the old Mitch Trubisky sacks where he's running out of bounds instead of throwing it away for a loss. He's still throwing some balls up there that, I mean, he damn near got Austin Hooper killed. Sure. There were still like some bad misses from him, but when the plays mattered, those that deep ball down the sideline to Diggs, like you mentioned, obviously the play at the end of the game where he's being dragged down and somehow, some way finds a way to get that ball off when he's just trying to throw it away, and then all of a sudden he sees his guy Stephon Diggs right there. It was a great game for Drake May, and I think he's moving in the right direction, but there's still some of these mistakes that need to be corrected with him.
It's exactly what you said last week when we were both like, I think you got to bet New England, but neither of us had the stones to do it. When you said Drake May's going to offer you the worst throw you've ever seen and then 4 of the best you've ever seen. And that's just the way he's going to be. And I'll tell you, Mike Vrabel's probably bricked up because they won the game on the ground. You're like, that's the perfect script for Mike Vrabel. Oh, our quarterback plays great defensively. We clamped up Josh Allen, and we won the game on the ground.
I will say I was actually pretty impressed, and I get that fumbles are fluky, the way that they can kind of change games and field position. I was actually kind of impressed by what I saw from Buffalo defensively in this game, too.
Yeah.
Like, Drake May just made some plays, all right? It's going to happen. It's the NFL. But I actually kind of liked what I saw from Buffalo defensively in this game. Drake May, I mean, if you bring Drake May to the ground, and his knee is so close to hitting the ground on that one play, Buffalo wins the game in all likelihood.
Yeah, it's a game of inches, and those are the little margins that you play on in these wins, but it's a huge signature win for Vrabel.
Yeah.
It's a signature win for Drake May going on the road. Big bounce back for Ramondre Stevenson, who gave it up early with the fumble to get 2 rushing touchdowns. At 7 carries of 14 yards, nobody's ever going to call home about it. But you find pay dirt twice. That's a good way to go. That's why I say, Vrabel, we know he wants to run the ball. He wants to play defense-first football. And I'll tell you another thing. Getting Christian Gonzalez back and healthy alters the way this entire defense plays. It's rare that a corner can do that, but he's so good and so valuable. The Buffalo side of things, this was one of those rare games where I'll shout out Potsy because he pissed me off with this a couple weeks ago. Justin Pottinger. Buffalo's got to get Josh Allen some help sometimes, man. In certain spots, you can't be relying on Khalil Shakir.
Although I will say there were a couple nice moments for Keon Coleman in this game.
Yeah, the touchdown was big.
He had the one leaping catch too near the sideline that I thought was great. Even the touchdown that wasn't down the middle of the field off the bomb. I mean, that's a hell of an athletic play. If you just have that in not the back of the end zone, that's one of the highlight reel catches of the week.
Yeah, and Josh threw what has become an uncharacteristic interception in the red zone, chance to score. He doesn't throw picks anymore, but that one, it felt like old Josh trying to fire the ball 15, 20 yards when you only needed 6.
That was one of the things, too. Like, what I saw from Josh Allen in this game is I felt like he tried to, and maybe it's because of the deficit or the fact that there was no offensive spark, and he maybe felt like he had to do it all himself. There were a lot of times where it felt like he was passing up on some of his layups, get the 6-5 yards, and create yourself a third and manageable, and instead went big game hunting. And he wasn't connecting on a lot of those deep balls throughout the course of the game.
Well, the problem is we know what Joe Brady wants to do. They don't want Josh Allen throwing the ball 35 times. They don't want him throwing it 30 times. They want him throwing – it's a bit like Jalen Hurts on steroids. They want him throwing it 20 to 25 times. And they want him to run when he needs to, but not all the time. But when you bottle up James Cook the way New England did, then you force Josh to put the cape on. And that can work for them. It worked for them against Baltimore, but now with what we know about Baltimore's defense, you can't ask Josh Allen to live in those spots. And hopefully Keon Coleman can develop into a legitimate weapon for him. And you can keep Khalil Shakir going. But if you're not going to get James Cook going in spots in certain games, then, it's going to be problematic because you're asking Josh to do too much. What else? Help me out. I wanted to get to something, but I'm forgetting it. I'm drawing a blank.
How about we go to the Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold show?
That's actually exactly what I wanted to get to because I have one thought, and then we'll get to the real football. That is the best uniform game the NFL has ever put out in its history.
You get the creamsicles, and then you get like the old Steve Largent Seahawk jerseys. I mean, that is tremendous stuff.
That was the most aesthetically pleasing game maybe in the history of the NFL because not only did it look great, it was great. The game was awesome. And you got 2 of the best throwback uniforms in the sport. The Scorebug, the old Tampa logo, it's incredible. The old Seahawk logo, it looked great. Everything about this game was pleasure to the eye.
And you see like the Seahawks script too. It just looks like it's off of an 80s cereal box. Like everything about it was great.
I loved it. If we're talking MVP stuff, I floated this out preseason. If you're looking for long shot guys, I said Stafford and I said Baker Mayfield. Both those guys are going to be in the conversation at the end of the season. And Baker, if the season ended today, who wins MVP? Is there an argument it's Baker Mayfield? 4 game-winning drives.
There certainly is. Yes. There certainly is an argument for Baker Mayfield. There certainly is for Daniel Jones. And I get that he lost last night, but Josh Allen's right in that conversation too.
100%. Baker, yes, 29 of 33, 270, 379, 2 tuds. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's been the story of their season. Baker Mayfield and Emeka Egbuka are going to will this team to a victory.
Yeah. I mean, Egbuka, too. We talked a little bit about it on the preseason podcast as well when we were going through all the divisions, but that was a Rookie of the Year spot, and it's looking pretty nice right now. If he got in on that, I think it was like 18-1 or something like that.
Flip side of it, I don't think this is a loss you feel bad about if you're a Seahawks fan.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
A good Tampa defense. Sam Darnold was outstanding.
Yeah.
The interception, whatever. The rest of it, 28 of 34, 340 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was great. And he's been great all year.
Yeah.
He is proving that last year in Minnesota, it wasn't just a fluke. I can say whatever I want about him. He holds the ball too long. I don't like that he plays for an outdoor team.
Some of that's been coached out of him, though, and that's
too.
like the O'Connell effect here. I mean, he took no sacks in this game.
Yep.
With that offensive line too.
Yeah, and I think Mike McDonald has just done a brilliant job. I loved him as a defensive coordinator in Baltimore. Obviously had some experience at Michigan as well with Harbaugh. Now the head coach in Seattle. I think he's been spectacular.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks are way better than I ever expected them to be as we entered the season. I wonder, maybe the NFC West is the best division in football, because we also got to talk a little Mac Jones and a little 49ers. Thursday Night Football, Niners beat the Rams. Niners beyond banged up.
Yeah.
Missing their top 3 receivers, missing their all-pro tight end, injuries on the O-line. You're missing Nick Bosa. Your quarterback's out. Mac Jones goes and balls, and you beat the Rams.
I think we saw 2 very distinct different teams, because that game on Thursday night could have and frankly should have looked exactly like what we saw in Houston and Baltimore this week. And I think we saw what a truly elite coach in the NFL looks like in Kyle Shanahan, and what just your run-of-the-mill coach looks like in the NFL in John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you saw.
Dude, I'm glad you said it, because John Harbaugh, at some point, can we stop polishing his chandelier for winning a Super Bowl 15 years ago?
Like, he's not a bad coach. We know what bad coaches look like. Bad coaches don't last as long as John Harbaugh has. But great coaches also do what we saw the 49ers do.
Yep.
And that's what Kyle Shanahan is.
Yeah, and I think, like, if you go through the top of the NFL, with the exception of the Colts, because I really don't know what Shane Steichen is. I can like what he's done so far, but I can still be in prove it to me territory. If you start looking at the great coaches and the teams that are at the top of this list, Shanny, 100%. Todd Bowles, people better start giving him some credit.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell, he's answered the bell. Elite. Like, these are what the great coaches look like.
Yeah.
And Detroit, I mean, we talk about some of the best quarterback play of the week. You can't do it and not bring up Jared Goff. He was outstanding again, and maybe you pay a little bit of a tax because it's against the Cincinnati defense, but 19 of 23, 258, 3 touchdowns. The physicality that they play with, the intensity that they play with.
And there is plenty of the quit on the other side for Cincinnati, but yeah, it's Detroit looked every bit of the part. Listen, if you're a good team, you do what Detroit went out and did.
You blow somebody out.
That's what you do.
You
don't apologize for road wins by 13 points that really felt like 24 points.
My wife took a nap. I was driving home, and she goes, she wakes up and goes, "Why did Fox turn the Lions game off?"
Yeah.
I said, "You were blowing them out."
Yeah. And you know what's funny, too, is the game that they switched to ended up being a
bigger blowout.
Than
And is also a game we should talk about because we brought it up a little bit. The Chargers, I got to tell you, you can tell me if I'm overreacting or not. I think they're going to miss the playoffs. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just you can't sustain the level of injury that they've taken on. You lost Rashawn Slater. That really hurt, but at least you had Joe Alt. Oops, Joe Alt's out. And now Mekhi Becton goes down with a hand injury in game, and they just cannot protect Justin Herbert. Their offense can't operate right now.
No. The good news is hopefully you get Joe Alt back. It looked way more serious than what it actually was. Not to say it's not a serious injury by any stretch, but hopefully you get Alt back. Hopefully you get Becton back, and you can still cobble this thing together for the rest of the season, because I don't want to say like the Chiefs and the Chargers are two ships crossing back in the night, but like I do think there is something to the Chiefs are going to continue to be the Chiefs for the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be really fascinating to see what happens tonight in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
We both feel like it's a winnable game for the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
If the Chiefs go lose, and then you look at this AFC West, Denver and the Chargers will be atop it with a rather commanding lead over a 2-3 Chiefs team that suddenly all the good feeling will have vaporized.
Mm-hmm. But 2-3, you're still only one game back with a hell of a lot of season left to go.
Yeah, my fear would be how much do you value the two teams that you beat? You beat the Giants. They lost to the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And then you beat the Ravens. The Ravens look like they might contend to be one of the worst teams in the football. It just, their defense is that bad.
Yeah.
And even if you get Lamar healthy, what are you going to win every game, 52-53? Like, what are you going to do here?
No, you can't. You end up becoming what the Bengals were last year.
I got to see it tonight with the Chiefs. If they go and have a convincing win against the Jags, I'll be right there with you. Lockstep, the Chiefs are back. They're going to win this division. But I got to see it tonight. The other results I wanted to bring up, Jets going 0-5. Maybe you were right all along about Aaron Glenn. I'll cede you a point. I'll take my victory on Dan Campbell, and I'll cede you a point on Aaron Glenn because it feels less like they got what's the name I'm looking for? It feels less like they got their Dan Campbell, I guess, and much more like they got their Antonio Pierce, a player's coach who's just a little bit clueless.
Yeah, and who, frankly, I didn't think did a very good job with the defense last year in Detroit. I get there were plenty of injuries, but you're talking about a defensive coach whose team has not taken the ball away in 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That hasn't happened since at least 1933. Like they weren't even throwing interceptions at that point in the sport. like. And then on top of that, this is a stat we can walk hand in hand in. Justin Fields, as a starter, is 0-26 when the opponent scores 21 or more points.
It's terrible. And you know what? If he's on your fantasy team, kudos. He's going to be a great fantasy player for you. But as an actual football player, the Bears were 1,000,000% right to move on. He is not a winning player.
Nope.
He will never contribute to winning football. And I'm not trying to shit on him. It's just, it's what it is.
Yeah.
That said, Titans pulling off the win because DeMercado lost his mind for the Cardinals does help me out with Miami because I didn't see a worse-looking coach exiting a building than Mike McDaniel after the loss. He's like begging him to just fire the mercy bullet and just let him be gone. He's begging to be fired.
Yeah. The Dolphins, I mean, and we, like, to be honest, the Dolphins, all things considered, showed solid fight in this game. I mean, it took a Bryce Young comeback. Miami was in control for a good portion of this game. And Carolina rather is just good at home too. It's what they've been for the last 12 weeks of games that they've played. Like, they've just been a good home team. It's been the road that they just can't figure out for whatever reason.
I was laughing that last week you were in for Cap on Cap and Hood, and I brought up the idea of trading for Rico Dowdle, and we all laughed at it because it's like he's like a nothing.
He's a guy, yeah.
And then, of course, the week I bring it up, 23 carries, 206 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Of course. It's the week I bring it up. And now if you think you're getting him for a 7th-round pick, you can go fuck yourself. Like Canales, who everybody in charge in Carolina is going to hang up the phone immediately. Yeah. We're keeping him. I thought it was cool to see Bryce Young get off the mat. It's been another struggle to start the season for him. Got the 2 touchdowns, willed them back into the game. He had a big kind of sneaky running play to set up a short yardage situation on one of their game-winning scores. I liked seeing him get off.
To be honest, he is going to be, I think, for me, what Baker Mayfield is for you. And I'm not talking about, he's going to be like Baker Mayfield, but first-round pick who was quit on, revived, and now we want to see his career flourish. That's who Bryce Young is for me.
Yeah, I think people think I'm some miserable asshole, and for the most part, you're right. But stuff like this does make me happy. Yeah, I like seeing
same
this.
Thing.
Well, some stuff like this does make me happy. I like seeing some of this.
You don't like the Sam Darnold stuff?
I don't know what it is with Darnold. I just can't I don't believe it as much. It feels so much more fickle.
We have to say this too. The trade that Seattle made in the offseason.
Holy mercy.
We tip our hat to that.
If Pete Carroll could make that happen again, he wouldn't.
Geno Smith is awful. And I get, Geno Smith has milked everything out of this football career, and good for him to get to the point where he was at least considered a good quarterback in the league, albeit much later than others thought he would maybe be a good quarterback in this league. But Boy, that is
He's
a
terrible.
disaster.
Yeah,
A
and
disaster.
look, those are the decisions that'll define your time as the coach of the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like you made the decision to pull the trigger and trade for Geno Smith, and that is what's going to sink you. It doesn't matter how good Ashton Genty ends up being, which a little bit of a letdown game after the running wild on the Bears here.
Yeah.
Trading for Geno is going to sink them unless they find a quarterback at the top of the draft this year. But who's that guy?
No.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
get
mean,
like
you thought there would be names, but all of a sudden,
Arch doesn't look good at all.
nope.
I don't know that he probably wasn't going into the draft anyway. I don't know that Julian Sayan's going into the draft.
No.
Ty Simpson's a wonderful quarterback right now at Alabama, but do you buy NFL pedigree there? The one is John Mateer, but to do it, you better be picking number one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think through it. Like, Nuss has been a disappointment. Klubnik's been a disappointment.
Aller stinks.
Aller's been. Dante Moore maybe is your guy.
Maybe, but is he going to go in the draft?
If he's going to be a top 3-5 pick, he probably. But
It's just,
I don't know, man.
this is where I go back to the college stuff, and I can't figure it out. And I think another part of it is it's more advantageous for quarterbacks to stay in college now a lot of times than it is to enter the draft.
Yeah.
And if you're an NFL team and you're looking for a quarterback this year and the guy that you wanted or the guy that you scouted is having a disappointing year, like Nuss might stay in school. He can probably make more money.
Yeah.
Aller, probably going to stay in school, transfer out of Penn State, go someplace, try to make some money, do a Carson Beck move.
Yeah.
Like maybe Carson Beck's your guy at the top
Yeah.
of the draft.
I mean, he's
revitalizing himself.
He's looked incredible.
That's actually one I do feel good for. Beck played through injury last year, dealt with some injury, transfers to Miami, having a ton of success to start, threw it all over the field against Florida State. I feel good for him. I don't know what it is with Darnold. I just don't like him. I don't know what it is.
Feels like an SC thing. I don't know why, but it feels like some sort of USC type of deal that you don't like him for.
Yeah, I just something unappealing about Sam Darnold that I can't put my finger on. Like Baker, I loved him at Oklahoma. Bryce Young, I didn't love him at Alabama, but I like that they totally quit on him and he's answered the bell and bounced back to an extent. And I hope it continues. But with Darnold, for whatever, I just don't like him. Sue me.
You sound like Carm right now. Boys, I can't figure it out. I just don't like him.
What is it about Sam Darnold? I just don't like him. Look it up. Can we look it up, boys? What do I not like about him?
Do you think he has a punchable face?
Yeah, a little bit. And maybe it's the red hair.
The seeing ghost stuff?
The Seeing Ghosts game. It's one that I'll never forget either. Watching it, it was one of the worst quarterback displays in league history.
It was against the Patriots, right?
He was so bad. And the idea that the guy who was the quarterback in that game can now wake up and play like a top 10 quarterback years later bothers me. Like I think it's different from Baker because or different even from Daniel Jones because Daniel Jones had the good year with Brian Daboll and won the game in Minnesota and won me money in that game.
Yeah.
And Baker, he was second in Rookie of the Year voting and won a playoff game against the Steelers. He had the best passing season in Cleveland Browns history. Aced out the Steelers, went to Arrowhead, had a gutty performance against a great defense, nearly aced out the Chiefs, and then played through a torn labrum. And at the end of that season, they kicked him to the curb. But Darnold in New York was just awful.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a bad guy for it. Let me know in the comments on YouTube or in the reviews, wherever you get your pods. Maybe I'm a bad guy, but I look at even Carson Wentz. Nothing happened to you except, obviously the knee injury with Wentz, but nothing really happened to you except you were terrible.
Yeah.
Darnold, the idea he was going to be comeback player of the year. Come back from what? Being awful? That's where I'm I don't love that. I love the story of the guy who the team quit on them and the team was clearly wrong and now they're going to make him answer for it forever. The Haslam family, every time Baker Mayfield is on TV, I would love a camera on Jimmy Haslam forcing him to watch Baker play quarterback, like in A Clockwork Orange when they hold his eyes open. Just watch this. and know that you decided this wasn't good enough for you.
Yeah.
Same thing with Goff even. And Sean McVay's great. The Rams are great. They won the Super Bowl. They won the trade because they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But Goff got quit on by the Rams.
Yeah.
And went to Detroit and revitalized his career and has now won more games with the Lions than he won with the Rams. And he took them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That I love. He bounced back from being quit on. They sent him to die professionally, and he made himself a top 7 quarterback in football. Darnold is just terrible. Maybe that's it.
Because, he's closer to what Geno Smith was than what Baker Mayfield or Daniel Jones or
I never liked
Carson Wentz, like you said.
I never really liked, I know people were like, I love the Geno thing, and I'm happy for Geno. I'm happy for Darnold. I'm happy for these guys because they've resurrected their careers and they've made money, and that's awesome. You're going to have generational wealth. You secured a bag. That's great for you, but I never believe in either of them. Because it wasn't like the Jets quit on Darnold, and they shouldn't have. He was awful.
Yeah. And it took a couple stops for him. He went to Carolina. He went to San Francisco. And then ultimately gets to Minnesota, has his great year, and now he's balling out.
And it says, like you talked about with Steichen and Daniel Jones, the Darnold thing says more to me about Kevin O'Connell than it does about Sam Darnold.
Well, what about now in Seattle?
This is impressive.
Yeah.
I can at least concede this is impressive.
Yeah, I didn't think it would look like this.
All right, what else before we wrap this up?
Only last thing that I want to make a note of is the Vikings win and cover in London, and we just have to remember this because I think we may get another 1 or 2 of these spots the rest of the year. Teams that stay the week, or who play and then stay the week after, are now 3-0 against the spread.
Yeah, we didn't spend any time on this game, but I can say 2 things. It's another one where I'll just, if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, I don't feel terrible about the loss.
No,
I thought Dylan Gabriel was impressive. Obviously, he didn't light it up, but I thought he was impressive in what you saw from him. Viking side, really, you could make an argument they had no business winning that game, but they had a really good drive late, left no time on the clock for the Browns. Browns tried what I thought was a really smart play, the crosser, to get themselves within the 30-yard line on the final play attempt, a shot for the end zone. Just didn't work out. Wentz was good. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of Geno here. Bad Wentz, good Wentz, bad Wentz, good Wentz. But I would take what I saw from Dylan Gabriel, and if I were a Browns fan, I'd be pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
I'd get excited about
got
it.
Thrown into an impossible situation too.
Oh yeah.
Not just on the road, in another country to make your debut, and you're going up against Brian Flores' defense. Your body clock's fucked up. Theirs isn't.
And Quinshon Judkins, against all odds, continues to look like the best running back out of this draft.
How about this? Great weekend for The Ohio State University. Ibuka, JSN, Judkins, and then outright winning your game against Minnesota too, and
crushing Minnesota.
Fashion.
Yep.
And you wake up as the number 1 team in the country still.
Ohio
State.
They're the one in Ohio that are having a good time.
Yeah.
Browns, Guardians. What time do you guys play?
Bengals.
Congrats on the division flag. What time do you play? Bengals.
When do the Cavs start, huh?
Oh, good luck. They'll spit the bit again. You know it. Good weekend for Ohio State. Also, baseball front, I feel like we should just touch on this. Your team plays game 2 today. My team plays game 3 tomorrow. I still think it's Cubs in 4. Game 1 was a total punt. Your mission was always split them in Milwaukee and then take the 2 at home.
Yep.
Your mission remains in front of you. You got to get good show tonight.
Yeah.
But I do have a betting tip I want to provide people. I've said it's Tigers in 4. I still believe it's Tigers in 4. Losing the Scooble start stings a little bit, especially after winning game 1. But that was buy one, get one. You win game 1, you're cooking with gasoline even if you lose game 2. You've already accomplished what the job was. Right now, the Tigers are a plus money series price. If they win 1 of 2 games at home, that's it. They will force a decisive game 5 where they will be a significant favorite with Scooble on the mound.
Yeah.
Bet Tigers plus money series price. It might not win, but it is
Logic's there.
Kind of absurd that they're offering you plus money on it.
Yeah. I don't hate that. Real other quick baseball thing that I think we should hit on, the Toronto Blue Jays. Maybe we should have seen this coming because they just hit the piss out of the ball. and slug wins for you in October. And frankly, their pitching's pretty good too.
Oh, how about the 21 Savage kid going out and
Shea
just
Savage
dominating?
That was, and he looked that entire game like he had intense face on, like for every single one of his pitches. And I believe he left with a no-hitter, right?
Yeah.
He left with a no-hitter.
This is one of the things, like we talk about the stories we like in sports. Baseball is providing it in spades for me right now. Cam Schlittler going out and doing what he did against the Red Sox on national TV.
Shit.
Yeah, it was
All
awesome.
along the way.
Shea Savage going out for the Blue Jays yesterday and taking care of business. Like, I love seeing these young pitchers just stones in the playoffs.
That was his 4th career start.
It's incredible.
For
The Dodgers made a habit of it. Like Roki Sasaki, you thought it was disaster, and then he just keys in and dominates.
Nails in the pen.
So
For a team that desperately needs bullpen help.
Yeah, I think that's always really cool. I still kind of like the Phillies.
I do too, yeah.
I still like the Cubs. I still like the Tigers in 4. I think they accomplished their mission.
And the Blue Jays took care of business. Like this thing is over.
The Yankees are done, and Aaron Boone, that'll be all. Is he going to get booed at Yankee Stadium tomorrow night?
Probably. By the way, did you see what Poppy did on the Fox post-game show from that game? He was like, all right, what's your plan for the Yankees? And he's like, here's my plan. And he lays out a diamond. And he just goes, we've got DiMaggio in left, Mantle in center, and he's got A-Rod and Jeter on the set with him too. He's like A-Rod at third, Jeter at short, and he just goes through like classic Yankees. And there's no current Yankee on there, even though Judge probably should be on that list.
Awesome.
It was hilarious. But yeah, by the way, I was thinking about this too while I was watching that post game. That has to be for our like childhood the most star-studded set we will ever see. Like those are the three of the biggest icons.
Yep.
It was like those 3, Ichiro and Pujols growing up.
Yep.
With A-Rod, Poppy, and Jeter on that set.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable set. That's a great bit by David Ortiz. No, you cannot bring Aaron Boone back if you're the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's run its course.
Yeah.
And that fan base will riot if he
yeah.
doesn't lose his job. Okay, that'll do it. It's a Pick a Side recap episode. We'll be back this week with more college picks against my better judgment. And we'll be back on Friday with an NFL episode. Thanks for listening. And please remember, rate, review, subscribe on YouTube. Click that subscribe button. Leave a comment, like a video. YouTube.com/@PickAsideESPN.